What's up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Torrence, and in today's video we are doing part 3 of my review of the new 6-pan palettes. I recently purchased all 7 of the 6-pan palettes and showed them off in my collections video, which I'll show you right here. And if you would have checked out one of my previous videos, you would have seen that I used the Violets palette and didn't have the best experience with it. So I wanted to test out several other palettes from the range to make sure that the formula hadn't changed or anything. And today is the 3rd video in this series showing off the Taupes palette. So if you would like to know my opinions on the 6-pan palettes, as well as see a tutorial on the look that I'm wearing now, just go ahead and continue to watch. Ready to jump straight into things, and of course, we are playing with the Taupes palette by juviasplace today. I really wanted to see if I can use different brushes and add a glitter adhesive to this look, because with the first 6-pan palette, I really did not get the pigmentation and blend that I'm used to with juviasplace. So I did a tutorial showing off the Warrior palette, which I can leave linked here, and showing you the differences that I have between those two palettes. Although the look always turns out very beautiful, it just seems like with these 6-pan palettes, I have to put in a little more energy and effort. And so I just wanted to try these out one more time just to make sure that it really is not me, it's the formula itself. So I'm going to go ahead and just grab my brush. And before we get started, I want to give you a close-up of the shades because they don't have names. So I'm just going to simply be calling them numbers, 1 through 3 on the top row and 4 through 6 on the bottom row. And this is a very cool tone palette. It is called the Taupes. And I am actually a big fan of cool tones, so I'm hoping things work out and this turns out to be my favorite of them all. I'll make sure I leave all tools and products in the description bar below, but we're going to start off taking this shade here, number 3, throughout our entire crease. And I really want to go in with my brush completely loaded. I'm going to buff this into place. And although I can see that starting to come through, I can understand why it may not be coming off on camera. Gonna go in with one more layer. We can use this as a transition shade. You always want to make sure you blend the top edges of that out. And yeah, I truly doubt if that's going to come off on camera. You may just notice the difference of color between right here underneath the brow, how light that is, and it slowly graduates right here to where you can see the color. Gonna try to see if I can add one last layer, even though I do believe that color right there is the full pigmented color. Yeah, that's not going to get any darker. But as a transition shade, I'm okay with that. We're going to just go ahead, blend this out few more seconds and jump over to the other side. And in my opinion, that shade went on very beautifully. It blended out nicely. You all may not be able to see it here, but I can truly tell the difference in person, that it stops here and I can see the area underneath my brow. So I have no issues with that. Next, to build up our crease, we're going to go in with this shade here, number 4, and a smaller blending brush. I'm going to load my brush up, tap things off, and build this up directly into the crease. And although that's still a lighter gray shade, I think this is showing off on camera where you can see where we're starting to build up the crease. I'm going to go in with one more slight layer. And now the gray is starting to come out. Yeah, on camera you can see where that goes in the crease. Hit the other side up. And for the last step of the crease, we're going to go in with shade 5 and use that for the outer V. Gonna load up the brush and just take one side, press that on the outer half. Kind of see just how deep that shade can get there. And to me, this one is a little darker and a little cooler in the pan, but it's not giving me the pigmentation that I would like. This is almost coming off just like the second shade. Okay, yeah. This third shade here isn't giving me what I hope for. Can you all see a difference between this third shade, which is the darkest, and that second one there? I'm not getting it. But we're going to go ahead and take that and just diffuse that into the outer half. Just so we don't have harsh lines or anything. Alright, and this is the blend that we have so far with just the 3 matte shades. I'm going to go ahead, add glitter primer to my lids, and then we'll be back to show you what shades we're going to apply then. Mix glitter adhesive. Now for lid shades, I want to make sure I try to use all of them. So I'm going to start off right here with shade 6 on the inner half of my lids. Then I'm going to go in with shade 2 on the outer half of my lids. And just looking at these formulas, this second shade here really does appear to have a larger, chunkier texture. And usually when you see textures like that, it means it's best applied with a finger or a silicone applicator. So I'm going to try that instead of just using a regular brush, because I really don't think a brush is going to work. And to give this shadow the best application, I'm going to go in with my Sephora Collection number 60 powder brush. I've come to realize that this brush picks up more shadow than any other brush that I have, and so I'm going to use that today. And you can see just how much we have here. And that color is absolutely beautiful. And you can see we got it all going. We have very little fallout because I took my time and I have that glitter primer there. So we're getting most of the particles here. We're not losing too much shine. We're not losing pigment. And you can see how fast and easy that went on. With that Violets palette, I didn't have any glitter adhesive underneath, so those shadows gave me trouble. Alright, and that's what we have so far on the front half. Next, I'm going to take my Makeup Forever number 224 silicone applicator. And I can definitely tell I've made the right choice by using this, because this is a very chunky formula. And I don't mean chunky like with glitter or things like that. It's just more like those Tarte chrome paint pots or things like that. It's just a finger is the best way to get it. But because my nails are a little longer right now, we're going to stick with this. And this color has much more shine to it. It has some small reflective particles which give the color a little more depth. This might be the prettiest and easiest shade of them all. Yeah. I'm really liking shade number 2. And before we cut away, just to see if we're going to get a little more pigmentation, I want to take an even smaller blending brush and go back into this darkest shade, number 5, and see if I can use that to build up my crease and my outer V just a tiny bit more. I know it didn't go through the first time, but I just really want to see how deep we can get this. It adds a little bit, but that color should still give me more pigmentation than that. Now that I'm satisfied with what we have so far, I'm going to cut away, finish the face, and I'll be back to show you how we'll finish off the eyes. Back at it, and we are almost finished with the face. I've pulled back a few of my old favorites. Used the Saharan Volume 2 blush palette again. I went in with this shade B, which is a mauvey purple shade, which means the only shade I've never used now is the shade Yara. This will be the last one, and I'm quite sure I can hit this one before the end of the year. Once again, for the lower lash line, I'm wearing my Urban Decay Demolition eyeliner. For mascara, we're still trying to use up the Too Faced Damn Girl mascara here. And because I used the lip bar for my lip combo on the last look, I decided to do them again this time. I decided to go a little lighter with one of my favorite combos, the Straight Up Lip Liner. This is a little more warm tone and a little lighter than the last one. And for lipstick, we went for a lighter nude. I went with the shade Baby Bellini. This was the very first lipstick I ever bought from the lip bar, so it's a color I absolutely love, but I ain't gonna lie to you. Every time I wear this one, she used to be my favorite, but since I tried that chocolate spritzer in the last tutorial, this one cute, but I don't know if she chocolate spritzer cute no more. Ooh, girl, I didn't add highlighter. Oh my goodness. Let me just jump in and add highlighter right now. Gonna stick to our old favorite, the Dose of Colors Fuego highlighter. Just jump in and add this now. Now that we have highlighter on, I want to go in and finish off the lower lash line. We're going to start off with shade 5 with a push liner brush, and then go in with shade 3 with a pencil brush. Just want to make sure we add a little more depth and dimension to the eye. This look is very soft and subtle. So we're not going to add any black to this look. Alright, now that we have the first shade on, we're going to just use the pencil brush to buff that out. Connect that on the ends. And you can truly see where it has diffused that, but if we're being honest, I could have probably just went in with that first shade on the pencil brush and just diffused that by itself. For the very last step, we want to go in with shade 1 right here and use that for an inner corner and brow bone highlight. See just how high shine this is going to be, considering it's the lightest shade in the palette. She shines. And now we just want to add just a little bit. With this being a cool tone shadow, we don't want too much there on our warm tone skin. Just enough to create a highlight. Yeah. Fix Plus to add a dewy look. All nighter so it'll last all day. Cheap Fan, Expensive Breeze, Good Times. Gonna go ahead, give this a few more seconds to dry, and I'll be back to give you all my final thoughts. And this is the final look. I want to go ahead, give you all a full face view of things before I give you all my final thoughts. And I'm here to let you know, I really like this one. Right now, I'm just trying to figure out exactly what is going on. And in my opinion, I truly believe the fault comes with the mattes in these 6-pan palettes. I have the first one here that I tried. And if I could say anything about this particular formula, it would be to just grab one matte, blend that throughout the crease. If you want to use that same shade as a transition, go ahead. But I believe the trouble starts to set in with these 6-pan palettes when you try to layer multiple matte shades on top of one another, or if you go in expecting depth and dimension by using more than one matte. With all of my other juviasplace palettes, it's nothing to go on with 3, 4, even 5 different matte shadows, and for me to be able to clearly look and see all of those shadows there. With these two, this shade is easily 3, 4, if not 5 shades darker, but once they're on the eye, these two look like the same shade. So I would just recommend using one, taking one of the shimmers, popping that on the lid, and going about your day. And also with these shimmers, I would truly recommend using some type of glitter adhesive underneath them because I did not get the best adhesion without it. I don't know, maybe they switched the formula up, and that's what I truly believe has happened because it's just not the same performance that I normally would get. Same thing with this Taupes palette. It's absolutely stunning, but when I'm looking right here in the camera, I don't see all of these different shades here on my eye. This look just does not give me 6 different colors. There's just no point of working with 6 different colors if the final look doesn't give off that type of energy. This looks soft, subtle, and natural, so I would just rather take the energy, one matte, one shimmer, keep it going. The look that I'm seeing is absolutely beautiful, and I truly plan on wearing this palette again. When I say I'm going to use that Taupes palette again, it's because I really want to use the shimmers in that palette and show you what kind of look you can achieve if you use that with this here, the Warrior 2 palette. I absolutely love juviasplace's 9-pan palettes. And as you can see with this one, this is all matte, but we have our black. We have a very dark gray. We have our taupes, and we have browns, we have reds, oranges, things like that. We have colors in here that can boost any cool tone palette. Now, when I look at this palette here, to me, it just seems like it's the perfect complementary to it. I can use any one of these 3s as a transition shade, go in with any one of these as a crease shade. We also have one that's even lighter, so anyone who wants to use a matte brow bone highlight can have that, and just add one of these shimmers with it. I would recommend, if you're going to get the 6-pan palettes, 1, keep it simple, 2, use a glitter adhesive underneath your shimmers. Otherwise, you're going to go in disappointed trying to get a complex look out of something so simple. But I hope you all really did like this video. As you all know, juviasplace is one of my absolute favorite brands to support. I even have a video on my channel, which I'll leave linked right here above, that shows off my juviasplace collection because I've purchased every single palette that they've released. It's just that I went in with the expectations of the previous palettes that I've had, and so when they didn't perform the exact same way, it threw me off. But only thing I can say is, for me personally, I would recommend just going for the 9 or the 12-pan palettes. I wouldn't purchase these 6 pans for someone else, but if for any reason you do purchase them for yourself, just keep it simple. If for any reason juviasplace were to release any more of the 6-pan palettes, I personally will continue to purchase them to make sure I can review them for you all. But I hope you all just really love and appreciate my honesty on the brand. Every look I've ever done with any of the palettes have turned out beautiful. It's just that, in my opinion, the 6-pan palettes are not up to the same quality as their 9-pan. I hope you all really did enjoy this tutorial. If you did, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Leave me a comment down below if you were someone from the previous video that let me know you wanted to see a tutorial on the Taupes palette. Also, let me know if either A, you have this palette or have intentions on purchasing it now that you've seen a live tutorial of it. But with nothing else, I hope you all remember to practice, continue to stay blessed, and until next time, goodbye, YouTube.